I would probably say that right now the center of gravity in DC is more on the deterrence side when it comes to China, and probably a bit less on the cooperation and engagement side. Of course, not necessarily at the fault always on the U.S. side, right? We've talked about how we've tried to pick up the phone with the Chinese. We've tried to call the Chinese, and the Chinese don't pick up. But we do see now in D.C. much more of a sense that we need to shape the external environment of which China operates in, which is clearly laid out in our national security strategy. And there is still a desire for cooperation. There still is a desire for engagement, but we're no longer placing as much hope on those elements to shape China.
It was a China that was willing to hear Bush out on human rights and particularly religious freedom. When he first met Jiang Zemin, Bush said to him, "I'm going to raise religious freedom every time we meet. I just want to let you know that up front. I have to do it. It's part of who I am. And so, get ready." And now that doesn't mean we're not going to talk about other issues, but I'm going to raise it every time. And we did. And they were willing to talk about it in a way that the current regime would never do it.
As I think about the Obama administration's China policy, a lot of continuity, really, with the Bush approach. We were still focused, I think, largely on the idea that China could be integrated into the existing system, made to be a responsible stakeholder, and could become a partner, in a sense, on the critical issues of the day. And I think that was the dominant approach for most of the administration. It was starting to change at the end with the emergence of the South China Sea issue, the rise of things like the cyber theft issue that became a focus of Xi's visit to the White House in 2015.
Who leads countries really matters. And I think if China decided in 2012 for a Jiang Zemin or Hu Jintao type leader, and we had had that leader for 2012 to 2022, I think China would be in a very different place today, and America's relationship with China would be very different today.
I would emphasize that what we're still continuing to see in recognition in this administration, the Biden administration, is the need for a very high-level dialogue, and that's where we see continued emphasis on President Biden being able to speak directly with Xi Jinping, with the recognition that given how much China has centralized power under Xi, very different than under Hu Jintao, who was going in sort of the opposite direction, and inviting more collective leadership, that is even more important for the two leaders to maintain that personal bond.